time for Football at 4. I know it is the start of one of the coolest basketball situations of the entire year, but at 4 o'clock we talk pigskin. It's what we do here on The Drive. And the Panthers went in on the offseason, went into, would be a better way to say that, into the offseason with one obvious goal above all the rest. Improve the defense. It's almost like, have you seen the movie Draft Day? Anybody? Yeah. Kevin Costner movie. It's a guilty pleasure. Vontae Mack, no matter what, right? He wrote it down on the thing before the draft. It's almost like the Panthers went into the offseason with fix the defense no matter what. So did they flirt with the idea maybe of trading for a wide receiver? Sure. Are they going to scout like offensive linemen? Of course they are. But when it comes down to decision-making time, where did they spend their money? Defense. Defense. And where will they likely draft, at least with the premier picks? Defense. So if the goal was improve the defense no matter what, how'd they do? Through free agency, how'd they do? They've added 4 projected starters. We're talking about defensive end Tershawn Wharton from the Chiefs, nose tackle Bobby Brown, it's his prerogative, from the Rams, strong safety Trayvon Moehrig, big money free agency safety from the Raiders, and inside linebacker Christian Roseboom from the Rams. Christian Roseboom, by the way, one of the coolest nicknames I've ever heard. His last name is Rose Boom. They call him the Exploding Flower.
That is a cool nickname.
See what's going on there? Rose Boom, Exploding Flower. Anyway, they also added edge rusher Pat Jones from the Vikings. He'll be likely backing up but rotating in with Jadeveon, Clowney, DJ Wanham on the edge. They re-signed J.C. Horn, made him at the time the highest paid defensive back in the league. No longer. That was broken by Derrick Stingley. And they re-signed their opposite corner, Michael Jackson, not that one, as well. Most importantly, though, as far as improving the offense, they're expecting to have Derrick Brown back in the lineup after missing darn near the entire year last year. He's the best run-stuffing defensive tackle in the game. So, how good did they do? How well did they do at improving their defense? That was their only goal. They're a more talented defense, no doubt. Right? If you just add up the players that left and you add up the players that showed up, the players that showed up are better than the players that left. But that's not necessarily the question, right? Talent doesn't always the sum of the parts, whatever that saying is. Here's what the entire offseason, the success of the offseason hinges on. Can anyone get their hands on the ball? Turnovers. Can anyone get their hands on the ball on defense? They had 17 forced turnovers last year. That's not enough. J.C. Horn is great. Love him. I don't know if he should have made him the highest paid defensive back in NFL history, but I have a feeling that contract won't look as bad 3, 4, 5 years from now when you see what defensive backs are about to start getting. So he's great, especially when healthy. But he's got 37 career games. He has 5 career interceptions. No forced fumbles, no fumble recoveries. Doesn't get his hands on the ball enough. You may say, all right, but that's a corner. You can just throw it to the other side, right? The better one corner is, if the other side is not good, why would you throw it at the good corner? Fair. Let's look at everybody else. Derrick Brown, I mentioned. He's great. One of my favorite players in the NFL. 103 tackles last time he played a full season from the interior of the defensive line. That's crazy. But he's a run stuffer. He's not getting sacks. He's not getting strip sacks. He's not knocking the ball out of his hands. Right? He's stopping the run. Trayvon Moehrig, really solid. I'm excited to see what he can do at the strong safety spot for Carolina. 66 career games. 6 interceptions. Somebody is going to have to be a ball hawk. Somebody is going to have to find a way to get their hands on the ball, or else you're just going to make it very difficult for them to go 12 plays and score. Right? The way, and by the way, I'm not the only one to say this. I'm going to say something right now, and you're all going to go, goodness gracious, Chris Collinsworth, you say this 12 times every game. The way the league is built is to promote offense. The way the refs call the game is to promote scoring. The way that teams spend money is to promote scoring. They want high flying. They want highlights. They want the fantasy football positions to be good. So it's becoming more and more and more difficult to just have a defense that can stop offensive football. Quarterbacks are getting so darn good at checking it down against two shell, and wide receivers are getting faster and better, and you'll see it in the draft, and it happens every year. Now running backs are back in vogue. Like the offense is going to be good across the league. Do you see what the Bengals just did? They're completely skipping defense and paying all of their money to three guys on offense with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Joe Burrow. Offense. So it's becoming more and more difficult to just, stop an offense for 4 downs. And by the way, coaches are going for it on 4th down more often, right? 4th and 3 used to be, heck yeah, forced to punt. Now it's like, well, we're not on our own goal line, so let's go for it. So you got to stop offenses 4 consecutive plays. That's really difficult. You know what's easier? Making one great play on any of those 4 plays and getting your hands on the ball and then going to take a rest on the bench while your offense, which should be high-flying and creative, goes out there on the field. I really like what the defense is doing. I think they are going to be darn near impossible to run the ball consistently against. Right, when you make, because even Jadeveon, Clowney, DJ Wanham, when they're healthy, they're edge rushers, but they grade really, really well against the run, right? And then you add in Roseboom, you add in Josie Jewell, you add in that they're really good against the run. The one thing I think they're missing is that ball hawk, right? That TJ Watt type of player, that Myles Garrett type of player, strip sacks, or the ball hawk in the secondary. Right, somebody that not only gets PBUs, pass breakups, not only has a low passer rating against, but gets their hands on the ball, maybe jumps a route or two to go force a turnover. It's the all-time equalizer. Not to mention what it can do for your offense, right? Setting up short fields, turning defense to offense, pick sixes, right? It's such a bit. Forcing a turnover in football is such a big deal. I guarantee you it's going to happen. Watch the press conferences or watch the interviews with coaches during March Madness. The college basketball. Watch the interviews with college basketball coaches during March Madness. They'll talk about turnovers being pick sixes. They call them pick sixes. When you turn over a ball, when you turn it over in basketball and it leads to immediate points, when defense turns to offense in basketball, they call them pick sixes because it's that known. It's that much of a thing. The most important thing your defense can do is get their hands on the ball. I'm a big fan of Michael Jackson, the corner opposite J.C. Horn. These are all good players. They're not necessarily the type that get their hands on the ball a ton. With that being said, they have the 8th overall pick. Maybe that's where they're getting their bit of spice, their bit of seasoning for what is a very, very solid meal. Right? Obviously, if like an Abdul Carter or a Travis Hunter or something, outlandish happens and they fall, boom, you got your guy that gets the ball skills out. But if you don't have that, where do you look to force turnovers?